This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Bergamy.
Well, hey there, come on in, make yourself at home. No Kenny B this week. He is enjoying some well-deserved R&R, so just me. And my promise to you, another 30 minutes of interesting ag news and features. Case in point, you ever wonder how a horse thinks, the reason behind their movements, and maybe some of the ways one can form a special bond with the animal? Well, you're going to meet a lady whose specialty is equine education and who can maybe answer some of those questions. Speaking of equine education, this story, not for dummies by any means. It's actually a part of an advanced training program for veterinary students. Some incredible technology going on here. Plus, a heartwarming story about the very popular Washington Farms. Why this season was their last of doing strawberries after 26 years and what their customers can expect moving forward. These stories and so much more starting right now on the Farm Monitor. Well, every year the Georgia Farm Bureau holds a competition which recognizes excellence in hay production. And this year's winner is by far the youngest, considering he's barely old enough to own a driver's license. Damon Jones has the story.
It's a well-known fact that the average age of farmers is on the rise. However, that doesn't mean there isn't plenty of hope for the future. Case in point, this year's GFB hay contest winner is all of 16 years old. Now, despite Marty Knoll's young age, he's already spent plenty of time out in the field.
He's been on a tractor ever since he was about 10 years old with me, helping. Well, he's been on ever since he's been a little smaller than that. Anyway, I finally turned him loose when he was about 11. I just got him away from the fence before he could be safe. Cab tractor and just turned him loose to go.
That experience has served him very well as it's resulted in the highest quality hay in Georgia. And his key to success is hard work and the right timing.
Well, I think the main thing was just the rainfall last year. We had an enormous amount of rainfall, and that grass is a pretty high quality grass, basically top of the line, and we fluffed it twice and tethered it twice. And we cut it when it was fairly young, about 26 days.
Each sample submitted is sent to Athens to be evaluated in their forage lab. Those results are sent back to the farmers who can then use that data to improve their techniques. So even though there can only be one winner, just entering the contest is beneficial to all.
Well, all of our growers want to have better quality hay. Better quality hay leads to better animals, and that brings more resources back to the farm. And if you enter our contest, you can see that data on your farm and hopefully win a baler in the process.
That baler is provided by Vermeer, who's entering their 70th year in business and proud to once again be a sponsor to this contest.
All that time as a family-owned corporation, we have strived to make ourselves better, put ourselves in a more competitive position so we can offer a premium product at a competitive price out to the customer. That's the same thing that we feel like our customers need to be able to do. They need to be able to continue to make strides within their operation. We can't do the same things we did in 1960, 1970 and expect to be competitive within our marketplace.
That next generation is well represented with the Knowles family, who understand the importance of sustaining this industry in Georgia.
It's just a great thing to see, you know, father and son bonding, and in farming that's becoming more and more uncommon. You know, it's an industry that is very hard, and it seems to more people are losing. I'm very proud to see him working with his father and learning.
I just enjoy, you know, being out here with nature and sunshine, and out here in the wilderness and alone, you know, and I just like it.
I was so proud of him. He was so proud too. He still is. This means more to him than life itself, and me too, and his mama.
Reporting from Houston County, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Well, 9 times out of 10, there's usually more to a story than what the eye can see. At least that is the case for training horses and riders at Fairhaven Farm in Rome, Georgia. In our next feature report, owner Kimberly Wallace opens up to the Monitor's John Holcomb about how her passion came to be and what she likes to focus on when stepping into the arena.
This is Kimberly Wallace, an equestrian that has a true passion for horses and for teaching others how to ride them, a passion that was first instilled in her when she was a little girl.
Long time ago, my grandfather won a Tennessee walking horse at a fair. One of those like buy a ticket, win a horse. And he was retired from the military and he had a farm. And so, you get on your grandfather's horse bareback, they lead you around, no big deal. And my parents divorced. And so we lived with my grandmother for a little while and then in Charlottesville, Virginia, and everybody's riding there. And my brother started taking lessons. Well, that irritating little sister. I wanted to do what he wanted to do. So we took some riding lessons and eventually he left riding. He didn't stick with it and I just was horse crazy.
From there, her love for horses and riding blossomed. She and her family ended up moving around to different places and even to different continents. And everywhere they stopped, she found a way to get back into a saddle. Eventually, she decided she wanted to ride full-time and started this farm where she now teaches riding lessons, trains horses, and even helps coach the equestrian team for Berry College.
Our main focus is equine education. So some people need more help on the ground and want more help. Some people are just rank beginners. We have experienced riders. We get riders from all different disciplines. So in my way of describing it, it's just equine education. How does the horse think? How do they move? How does their body operate? How does their digestive tract work? So there's lots and lots to learn.
But just teaching people how to ride and training horses isn't all. Though it looks that way, she's doing a lot more than that. She's actually working with what she calls an athlete.
I like to think every time I sit on a horse as a professional, my goal while I'm training is to build an athlete. And so everything I do with the horses, it's a hybrid between exercising and like fitness training and cross training and the yoga, the strengthening, the core strength, keeping those ligaments and those tendons stretched and malleable and strong, because all your muscles are going to support your joints. So it's less wear and tear on the joints, on the horse's joints, if they've got really strong muscles. So I just keep reminding myself and I remind my students, you're building an athlete.
In the end, though, whether she's training a horse or a rider, she really just wants to achieve one thing, and that's passing along what she's learned to help others.
My goal is to get really good, correct information out there from day one. And even if you take a break in your riding and you go off to college or you do something different, if you come back to it, you'll always remember the safety things, how the horses are not Labrador retrievers. They don't take in or give information like dogs or cats. I want to teach people how horses think and how they gather information, and then as we communicate with them, either on the ground or with our body when we're in the saddle, make sure everybody has correct information.
Reporting in Rome for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
All right, John, thank you so much. For 26 years, they were the place for strawberries in not one, but two counties. After the break, why the owners of Washington Farms felt it was time to call it quits.
Hey, my name is Ben Oliver and I'm the Vice President of the Georgia State FFA Association. I've been around an aspect of agriculture my whole entire life. And when I moved to Harris County my freshman year and walked in the agriculture classroom, I knew that was where I needed to be. My plan is to attend Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College in Tifton this coming up fall, and there I plan to major in agriculture education. And I hope to have the same impact my agriculture teacher had on me coming up through high school, and I want to continue to carry on the impact that I have had the opportunity to take part in throughout my years in the FFA.
To learn more about the National FFA organization, log on to ffa.org.
Hi, I'm Charlie Kilmaster, the State Deer and Feral Hog Biologist with the Georgia Wildlife Resources Division. Let's talk about a few myths with feral hogs. A lot of people think that hunting is the primary solution to controlling feral pigs. Despite no closed season and no bag limits, The feral hog population in the southeastern United States has exploded over the last 40 years. If you're managing a piece of land and you want hogs gone off of that landscape, you really need to set the guns down and start trapping and use a hole sounder trapping technique. There's a lot of different traps out there on the market, everything from small box or cage type traps all the way up to the remotely triggered traps. And there's a range of expenses there. The small box traps, they're not really suitable for doing efficient hog control. If you're trying to catch a pig for some meat, then yeah, maybe that's the way to go. But if you're looking at effectively controlling pigs, you need to look at the larger traps, corral style traps. There's a variety of plans for constructing these on the internet. And then the commercially produced remotely triggered traps really are where you get into the most efficiency in trapping pigs. The current method that we're employing on a lot of our wildlife management areas where we have hog problems are what's called hole sounder trapping methods. And these are remotely triggered traps that allow us to get the entire group, the entire family group of pigs into the trap at the same time, and we leave no educated pigs out on the landscape. So if you're trying to control pigs on your property and you ride around and you see a group of pigs run off, instead of reaching for the rifle to take a pot shot at a few of them, make a note of that spot, pre-bait it, and get a trap set there and get the whole entire group.
Unfortunately, all good things do eventually come to an end. And while we recently said goodbye to strawberry season, we also said farewell to an institution, a family tradition. After 26 years, Washington Farms in both Loganville and Bogart, Georgia, announcing this season would indeed be their last of doing strawberries. As for the why and what's next, the Monitor went straight to the source, owners John and Donna Washington.
Well, I've toyed with slowing down some. I'll be 66 this fall, and so we've looked at slowing down a little bit. Our daughter has a ministry in Uganda, and so we try to go over there at least once a year. We may be able to go over there twice a year now. And just strawberries are very labor intensive, a lot of work, and we're wanting to slow down. And we've been working hard all our lives, and it's time to slow down and take it a little bit easy.
We were seeking wise counsel. I said, let's go to people who know our business, know what we do, tell them what's going on, and just see what they say. And this dear friend threw out the idea, why don't you just shut down strawberries? I think you may be able to just do your fall stuff, and that would surely simplify your life. And it was like a breath of fresh air to John, because he had never entertained that, but if he had, I think he was kind of hesitant. But when someone else gave him permission to entertain that idea, and what he really needs right now is just some freedom from the weight that you carry of 2 whole fields of strawberries getting killed by frost, or just the weather and the rain. A lot of rain can ruin so many, and it's just hard, the toll that takes on you year after year. But I think until next spring rolls around and we really don't have them, it's gonna hit us a lot harder. Our 2 oldest daughters who grew up farming and being so integrally and part of just growing it all, it hit them really hard. They cried for 2 days. They were both in Uganda at the time when we kind of made the decision, thought we'll tell the kids. And it was very difficult. And our oldest daughter, who lives in Uganda, came home for 2 weeks in the middle of strawberry season, an unscheduled visit, just to pick strawberries and help us on the farm this last season. And so that showed me in a tangible way how much this is going to impact our kids.
One of our mottos is making memories at Washington Farms, and we've got pictures where we've had a couple people bring their kids out for 26 years, and now their kids are bringing their kids out, and so we're now having multiple generations of people come out to the farm, and so we're still going to be making memories. The corn maze, the petting zoo, the jumping pillow, corn box, all the activities will still be going. We're going to keep the agritourism side. All our fall activities will still be going, and that'll be at our Bogart Watkinsville farm. And so we're looking forward to continuing that. This year we've added a new zip line, and if you go to WashingtonFarms.net Facebook page, there's a video on there, and you can see my family, my kids going down the zip line. We haven't opened it up yet, but it looks to be a lot of fun, and I think that everybody's going to really enjoy that. And then we're adding a human foosball game out here. And so we've got most of that built, most of that's ready. So those would be the two main attractions we're adding this year.
I'm just a people person, and I love meeting new people. I love connecting people. We've had people that work for us meet here at the farm as their college job and end up getting married, and missionaries in Guatemala now. I mean, we have a lot of stories like that people meet here. And then, as John mentioned, the families that have been coming for years and now their adult kids are bringing their kids and they come as grandparents, you know. I'm glad that that can still be done through the agritourism part of our business instead of just through strawberries, that we can still have that connection with people, because that's what we love.
Such good people, cannot thank them enough for all the good memories. Well, stay with us. Up next, a horse is a horse, of course. In this case, however, the horse is used as coursework for students aspiring to be veterinarians.
I'm here in Utah, Salt Lake City, my 50th state in just a little over 2 years, and I'm telling you, it's been a real treat. Nice to meet you. North, south, east, and west, farmers, ranchers, and foresters are the best constituency in America. I love to get out and learn from them and help them understand the things that USDA can do to make them more profitable, more productive in all their efforts. So I want to thank Utah for their hospitality, as well as all other 49 states. We've been welcomed in every state, and it's a real honor to serve as Secretary of Agriculture. We don't have a lot of agriculture in D.C. That's why I love to get out in all these states. I'm glad to name number 50, Utah, in almost 2 years.
Any dinner is made better with any kind of beef. I think of grass-fed and conventional like iPhone and Android. They're two different products, but the market has enough room for both types of products. One's not necessarily better than the other, they're just different products. My name is James O'Brien. I'm a 7th generation rancher from Beeville, Texas. Well, the beef has to come from somewhere. It doesn't come from H-E-B. We've got these herds out here to try to responsibly raise high-quality beef. There are more similarities between conventional and grass-fed than there are differences. A conventional calf isn't fed corn their whole life. A conventional calf spends just as much time on grass for the first 2/3 of their lives as a grass-fed calf does. And then the finishing process, which is the last 3 to 6 months, conventional calves are on grain, grass-fed calves are still on grass. We've been down here since the 1830s, and grass-fed seems new and trendy, but raising a steer on grass, finishing that product and selling it to your neighbors is real nostalgic, and it's real fulfilling, and it's something that people have been doing for a long time. We're still primarily cow-calf, but we added the grass-fed because it's something we can do together as a family. We're always looking for new opportunities to diversify the business and make a good living. Our conventional process is not as conventional as a lot of places. We don't supplement with feed on the conventional side or the grass-fed side because we focus on forage production in the pasture. We don't throw grain at our conventional herd because we've got too many to feed. The biggest challenge is room whenever you're trying to finish cattle on grass. We've got herds in different places, and it's important for them to have enough room so that places don't get overgrazed. I like to make the joke that I didn't turn into a grass-fed beef producer, I turned into a grass farmer. We work hard to manage these pastures, create good forage quality so that we can have a higher efficiency and be able to put more cattle on the same place without any negative effects on the pasture or the environment. All of our cattle have Brahman influence in them somewhere. South Texas is rough country, and the Brahman breed in general is just a real hardy breed. It's hard to find something that can still be fat and fleshy and good looking when it's 110 outside and there's more brush than grass. You'll hear people call it first cross or F1 or hybrid vigor, which is a breeding tactic to emphasize the positive traits of both breeds. The biggest challenge on a daily basis is the laundry list of fires to put out during the day while we're trying to focus on the big picture at the same time. And so while I'm fixing a fence or checking a cow that's down or a water pipe that's busted, I've also got to consider the fact that we've got to get off the farm and ranch and get involved with policy making, and then still spend time at home with my wife and kids. I think just the Western lifestyle hits home for me because that's how I was raised. It's important to us to keep that tradition alive, but also to have a sustainable business and to be able to make a living. We're excited about being able to provide a product raised by a family and sold to our neighbors that people are excited about.
Well, finally this week, it's a dose of reality in the operating room without touching an actual living thing. Students practicing surgeries on animal simulators with replica organs and tissue made of fibers, water, and synthetic materials. As Charles Denny reports, rehearsing on pretend animals gives students skills and confidence before progressing to the real thing.
They affectionately call her Miss T, and from 40 feet away, she looks real. Up close, you see Miss T isn't moving or even breathing. Made of synthetic fibers and plastics, Miss T is a simulator, and students at UT's College of Veterinary Medicine can practice medical techniques here. Instructor Karen McCormick says the simulator has replicas of what you'd find inside a real horse: reproductive organs, intestines, kidneys, even veins where you can draw blood.
Yeah, so when we use Miss T to teach students, it allows them to practice the skills, palpation, blood draws, abdominocentesis, those sorts of things on a simulation model that isn't moving. They're not scared of it because it's not a live horse.
First-year veterinary student Christina Seltzer grew up around live horses, but performing medical procedures on them will be a new experience. Working first on Miss T is great training.
Yeah, and I also think it helps when I am faced with that real emergency that I'll be more calm because I have seen it in the simulation and I won't panic. Right off the bat, I'll be like, all right, I've done this. I know what I'm doing. So I think that's a big help.
We practice our golf swings, our singing voices. We even rehearse graduations and weddings. But for veterinary students, it's a bit more complicated than that. You can't really practice on a live animal. But with these simulators, it's pretty close. CVM students also practice on canine simulators in this lab using synthetic cadavers. Here they mimic a fairly common surgery, removing a foreign object the dog might have swallowed by accident.
What we're hoping to gain by using these is that the students are allowed to do more advanced procedures. They can open the stomach, the urinary bladder, the intestinal tract, perform surgeries that we typically wouldn't allow them to do on animals through the teaching hospital.
After working with simulators, students will progress on to spay and neuter techniques, eventually on live patients, and then more advanced surgeries. But for now, they're asked to pretend this is real. And with these training tools, it's real enough. Critical practice that could lead to successful future surgeries. This is Charles Denny reporting.
Thank you, Charles. And folks, do not forget, for all the latest ag info regarding food, great recipes, and what's happening down on the farm, be sure to check out our Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest pages. You'll stay informed and see what's up in the world of farming and with us at the show. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next week right here on the Farm Monitor. Have a great week.